When it comes to your milk supply, the early days of breastfeeding can be challenging. You may feel unsure about whether you're producing enough milk for your baby, and if you're pumping, whether you're doing it often enough. The good news? Most moms are meeting their baby's needs, even if they feel like they're not producing enough. That's the beauty of supply and demand. In this video, we'll walk you through tips for optimizing your supply when pumping from our friend Britney, a nurse, doula, author, and international Board Certified Lactation Consultant with our partners at SimplyFed. We'll talk about how often you should pump, how long your sessions should be, when and how to adjust your schedule, how to use your pump settings, and more. Remember, you've got this. First things first, before pumping, make sure that you've measured your nipples and are using the flange or flange and insert combination that's right for you. Without a flange that fits, your pump won't be able to fully empty your breasts, and over time, this can put a dent in your supply. To find your fit, you'll want to measure the width of your nipples and then calculate your flange size based on the instructions specific to your pump. You may need to do this more than once, since your nipples will change in size over time. Usually, you'll add between 0 to 3 millimeters to your measurement to find the flange that's right for you. Sometimes, you may need to add an insert to create a more snug and comfortable fit. After finding the right flange, make sure you're using a stretchy pumping bra that's snug enough to hold your pumps in place. If you're using a wearable like Willow, just the tops of the pumps should peek out. If it's too loose, you'll also sacrifice output and risk undersupply. And if it's too tight, you could be at risk of plugged ducts or even mastitis. Finally, focus on your pump's alignment before you start your session. The flange should be centered directly over your nipple, and you shouldn't feel any rubbing or pulling. This will ensure that your milk can flow freely and that your milk ducts aren't compressed, which can also have a negative impact on supply. You'll want to make sure that you're pumping on a regular schedule, especially if you've recently introduced a pump. This will help you maintain your supply by telling your body to continue producing milk. Your schedule will vary based on a few different factors, such as where you are in your feeding journey, whether or not you're pumping exclusively, and how quickly your milk starts flowing. But a good goal is to target every 2 to 3 hours, or however often your baby has been nursing at the breast. Consistency is key. If you miss a scheduled pump session, pump as soon as you're able to, and then pump again at your next scheduled session. It's okay if they're close together. And remember that even though you're pumping on a schedule, you can still feed on demand, offering a bottle whenever baby shows hunger cues. For optimal supply, you'll want to make sure that you're fully emptying your breasts during each pump session. If you can generally feel your letdowns, you'll want to make sure that you have between 2 and 3 each time you pump. If you can't feel them, give yourself between 15 and 20 minutes, and make sure that your breasts no longer feel full by the end of your session. As your baby grows and changes, your schedule may need to evolve as well. Over time, for example, you may find you can shorten your pumping sessions by a few minutes and continue to make the same amount of milk. On the other hand, if you're recovering from a cold or illness that caused a dip in your supply, you may need to pump more frequently and lengthen your sessions to kick your production into gear again. Power pumping is an example of one of the ways you can tweak your schedule to troubleshoot a dip in supply. When you do this, you're basically mimicking babies' cluster feeds, which are common in their early weeks of life. The goal is to remove as much milk as possible during the back-to-back sessions, signaling your body to produce more milk. You'll want to add one power pumping session into your day on top of your existing feeds, whether you're nursing or pumping exclusively. Over the course of an hour, you'll pump for a period of time and rest for a period of time, telling your body to make more milk. Usually, this looks like an initial 20-minute pump, followed by 10 minutes off and 10 minutes on. Finally, it's important to experiment to find out which level suction is right for you and how often to toggle between stimulation and expression. Stimulation triggers letdown, while expression pulls out milk. They're both essential for optimizing output and maintaining a healthy supply. Pump on the highest setting that is comfortable for you, and remember that setting the vacuum to the strongest suction level doesn't mean that you'll make more milk. This is a common misconception, and one that often ends up leaving moms in pain. Once you've mastered your settings, you can focus on optimizing comfort and output even more by trying things like lubrication spray. This can help reduce skin friction and help your skin glide more easily while pumping. The biggest misconception when pumping that you should pump to the point of oversupply. Too much milk is not a good thing. Oversupply can lead to plugged ducts, which can feel like painful knots or lumps in your breast, as well as mastitis, which is marked by pain, swelling, and even flu-like symptoms like fever. Not to mention that making too much milk can lead to waste. Another common mistake, using a pump that isn't designed with hospital-grade suction, which can impact its efficiency and harm your supply in turn. Whether you choose a wearable or a traditional pump, make sure you do your research. Finally, many moms think that pumping through discomfort is normal. But the truth is that pumping should never hurt. And if it does, you're likely on your way to sore nipples, plugged ducts, mastitis, or another common condition that will make it hard to continue pumping and breastfeeding over time. If you've followed these steps and are still looking to optimize your supply, don't forget that nourishing yourself, staying hydrated, and trying to reduce stress as much as possible can work wonders for your milk output. And remember that you can always connect with a lactation consultant for personalized guidance. They can help you with everything from creating a schedule that works for you to double-checking your nipple measurements and work with you to help you reach your feeding goals. For more tips on optimizing your supply, plus expert-backed guidance on all things supply, make sure to like and subscribe to Willow. You can also shop pumps, accessories, and more at onewillow.com.